Hey everybody, it's Zach here from the Ed Boys, and welcome to our RuneScape 2007 1-99 woodcutting guide. Woodcutting is a pretty easy skill to train, so this should be a very quick guide. There are also a few ways to make some money from it too, so I'll always put those in the end of the video. Keep in mind there are a lot of different ways that you can get your woodcutting to 99, these are just the methods that I would prefer to use. Before we get into the leveling guide, let's talk about Lumberjack clothing quick. If a player wears a full set of Lumberjack clothing while they are woodcutting, you get a 2.5% XP boost. You can obtain the Lumberjack clothing as a drop from undead Lumberjacks in the Temple Trekking minigame. If you add in the time that it can take to get the full outfit, you really don't save a lot of time going to get it, but there's no doubt if you're going all the way to 99 woodcutting or even further, it can save you a few hours. Let's briefly talk about axes. Clearly, if you want the best XP rates, you just want to use the highest tier axe that you can at your woodcutting level. It's not really rocket science. There's also an Infernal Axe, which requires 85 fire making to make, since it is untradeable. You can combine a Smoldering Stone with the Dragon Axe to make it, and it does run out of charges, but fortunately, you can charge it back with either a Smoldering Stone or a Dragon Axe, so just put a Dragon Axe in it to recharge it, since it's pretty cheap. When you're using the Infernal Axe, you have a 1 in 3 chance that the log you chop just automatically gets burned for 50% of the fire-making XP you would have gotten. It's kind of nice for fire-making XP, but it also makes woodcutting a lot more AFK, so you don't have to drop or bank as often, so that can help XP rates if you're not paying as much attention. Clearly, this isn't recommended if you're saving your logs since you are burning them. There's not a lot of cases where you are saving your logs. The axe will degrade after 5,000 logs, and like I said, just use a Dragon Axe to go ahead and recharge it. Don't forget, both the Dragon Axe and the Infernal Axe have a special attack that increases your woodcutting level by 3 levels temporarily. To start the leveling guide, you really don't have a lot of options. From 1 to 15, just chop some regular trees. There are tons of places you can chop these trees, like behind Lumberjack Castle, or even in the Grand Exchange like you see me doing here. For all the logs in the guide, I would really just suggest dropping them. There are some moneymakers at the end that of course involve banking, but I'll talk about those specifically. If you didn't know, you can turn on shift drop in your settings. You just have to hold shift and click all the logs in your inventory to drop all of them. Very convenient. From levels 15 to 30, I would use oak trees to level up. There are a handful of trees around the game. The one I'm chopping here is just southwest of the Varrock Bank. Another good option is just outside of the Draenor Village Bank. From levels 30 to 60, you should move on to willows. Just south of Draenor Village and just north of Sears Village Bank are the best places to find willows. Either way, they're usually not very crowded, and you don't really need to bank them, so you could also use like the Lumbridge area. If you just find some willow trees to chop, it's not a big deal. At level 60, I would move your operation into the Woodcutting Guild. You do get an invisible 7 level boost in woodcutting if you chop in the guild, so it does speed up things pretty nicely. You also need 75% of Hoosidious house favorites get into the guild, though, keep that in mind. Inside the guild, there's a deposit box and a bank pretty close to all the trees, so if you find that you don't drop your logs fast enough for any reason, you can just bank them with pretty minimal XP loss. Also, if you don't want to unlock the guild, you could just chop maples behind Sears Village Bank. Either way, I would take maple logs all the way to 65 woodcutting, just if you're in the guild, it's going to be a little bit faster. At 65 woodcutting, I prefer to move on to teaks. Due to the woodcutting guild, these are similar XP rates to maple logs, but I find teaks to be a little bit faster overall, and eventually they end up being the fastest for a couple of reasons. The best place to chop teaks is definitely on Ape Atoll, which does mean you have to do at least Monkey Madness 1 or enough of Monkey Madness 1 to get a Gree. If you've done Monkey Madness 2, you don't need a Gree at all, which is kind of nice. I would chop teak logs all the way up to 90 woodcutting. One of the reasons that teaks are very popular is because you can use some tick manipulation to grab up to even like 180k XP an hour, I've heard, at teaks. But I'm really not the person that you want to learn how to 2-tick or 3-tick logs from, because I'm pretty bad at it myself. So there are some guides out there for 2-ticking and 3-ticking teaks if you're looking for a more click-intensive method for woodcutting. But if you'd rather the little bit of AFK, or you just turns out it's not for you, just go ahead and relax for a little bit, chop some teaks all the way to 90 woodcutting. From 90 to 99, I would suggest using redwoods. Redwoods are super AFK and they provide the best woodcutting XP outside of 3-ticking or 2-ticking teaks. You can only chop redwoods inside the Woodcutting Guild, which does mean you get that 7 level boost, that invisible 7 level boost while you're in there. Eventually they turn out to be decent XP, but in general, you still got a few hours to go for 99, but this is the simplest way to do it once you've hit 90. The two best trees to make profit off of in woodcutting gotta be yews and magics. The best place to chop both of these trees is definitely the Woodcutting Guild, because they're super close to the bank, and of course you get that 7 level boost, which is, it's huge, trust me. Neither option really gets you a crazy profit margin, but they're pretty AFK, so if you're looking to make money on the way to 99, this is a pretty good way to do it, though it is going to be a little bit slower, of course. Any tree that you chop, you can receive a bird's nest from randomly, and if you're lucky, you could get a fairly expensive seed in it. If you do woodcutting all the way to 99, you're bound to make a couple of mil off of seeds, even if you don't get that lucky, so that's a little bit of boost in money. In general, though, woodcutting is not the greatest skill to try to make a lot of money with, so I would generally just choose a faster method for woodcutting, and then go make money with a different skill. That's all the information that I really think you need to get your woodcutting to 99, everybody. If you do have any questions of your own or your own tips, be sure to leave them in the comments section below. I used to keep updating the ideas for the video with annotations after I put it out, but we don't have any annotations anymore. YouTube took them away. So I'll be using the description to try to update any necessary information on this video after it is released. So go ahead and check the description. At the top of the description is where that should be. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed and got some good information, and best of luck with your woodcutting.